Shalom. I want to start by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Waharuka Kudash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us scriptures, among other things, and salutation to Yakim across the earth for doing this work in sincerity and truth. Shalom. So in this video, I want to go into the importance, how important it is to basically instruct your children, correct them, give them boundaries, and that you have to start with it when they are young, even as a baby, actually, and basically speak through experience, got two children, two boys, and what I see with the mother of my youngest. She basically is on she's nearly on a breaking point this moment, and there's a lot of stuff going on, of course. She also which also factors, she also has been a demon, basically try to do all kinds of things against me, but yeah, hey, the Most High, he take care of those that he loves, those who love him, who fear him, and basically the thing was, with my youngest, I already told her from the beginning, like, hey, you need to be, because I already saw that he was, he's more, how you call that? Feisty. Yeah, I don't know exactly how to call it. He needs more. If I compare him with my oldest son, he's, my oldest son is, he got more the calmness that I also had, but the youngest, he want to show his strength and all that, and of course, I'm a man who, how a man's supposed to be, you kind of dominate, and the youngest, he wants to be the boss of everybody. So since he was young, as a little child already, basically as soon as he started crawling around, I already made sure and let him understand that at his father's house there are boundaries, there are rules and regulations, and his mother was always against it. She was only feel like he's still a baby and this and that, and you too harsh on him and all that shit. And now, she is on that breaking point. A lot of stuff going on. So basically, she has no control over him. And now it's really gonna it's busy taking the toll of her. Which is something that, yeah. I enjoy seeing that. Of course, you want your child to behave, so yeah, now she, gotta stay the last couple of months, she kind of calmed down, If I look like a year ago, she was, she did some shit. I'm not gonna go into details, but she was really being a big ass demon. But yeah, all the things, she tried to basically get me down, but the whole shit blew up in her face, Now she is, I call that harvesting all the shit that she tried to do with me, Now it's everything's blowing up in her face. So it's a lot of stuff going on, I'm not really going into details, but the fact is that he's with her out of control, So today I had a conversation with her, and basically, she admit that I was right all the time, and now she wanna, how you say that, uh, you know, now she wanna start giving him boundaries and all that, Meanwhile, this year he's gonna be in a couple of months he's gonna be 6 years old. So, and if you ask me, in my opinion, yeah, also told her, like, don't expect me. She was like, yeah, I'm really doing it now, this and that, but it's really hard, because he keeps testing me this and that. And I told her, like, okay, yeah, I understand what you mean. And I told her, like, okay, it's good that you want to do it right now, but you gotta realize that it's gonna take a long time, because as long as he will remember, because he always, and she admit that she still is doing it, that Sometimes when she tell him no and he keeps asking her, and let's say the seventh time, her no is gonna be a yes. And I told her, like, as long as he can remember uh, that there are options with you, he's gonna show that behavior, you know. So meanwhile, you're already tired from trying it a couple of weeks, or I don't know how long, you know. I have no idea, you know, because she's that's also the thing, you know. She loves to lie, so things that she's saying, you know, I cannot really I said that take her words for truth, you know, basically things that she's saying. Only thing, you know, but I told her, like, you know, you gotta prepare yourself. That's gonna take a very long time for him to basically respect your no and accept your no, without try to negotiate with you, because that's what he has been doing all his life with me. You know, she was like, yeah, you too harsh for him, he's still a little child, and this and that. But the scriptures are very clear about that, you know. Also, what's the scripture again? You got the scripture that said, don't wink at his ignorance, you know. Matter of fact, let me check real quick. I can find that scripture. Because I think it's in the book of Proverbs, but I'm not sure, man. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, it's in the book of Sirach. Uh, Let me see. Hold on, bear with me for a moment. Let me see real quick if I can find that scripture, because the scripture that says that you shouldn't wink as his how I say that? Don't wink at his ignorance, you know. And that's basically what, you know, a lot of parents are doing. And then when a child grows up, you know, you're actually already too late, you know. And that's also a thing that, yeah, I also have it in my mind, you know. And of course everything's Yahweh Razah, but you know, and let me see. Yeah, I don't remember exactly where the scripture was, you know. The wink at his ignorance. Let me see. Wait a minute. Let me just check it on. I call it on the internet. Let me see. Mm-mm. No, it's not this one. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Bear with me one moment. No, it's not this one. No, it's not the one from X. No, I don't remember. It only shows that one. No, but I don't remember. Maybe if I get on it later, then I'm gonna add it as a comment. Mm, Let me see. Bible verse about ignorance. Maybe I find it there. Cause uh, uh, um, Scripture that said, "Don't wink at his ignorance," basically. But yeah, that's also, they like to, people like to laugh when a child does something, and of course, it's you see a little version of yourself, and of course, it can be funny when a child does something, because there's also thing, a lot of children, they have an old soul, and that's also thing, they're a copy of you. You watch at them, you see them doing certain things, and sometimes they do stuff which which make you remind you of yourself, but that is something which is not good. It could be kind of wicked. Wicked is a big word, but it could be something that they ain't supposed to do or ain't supposed to say. Meanwhile, sometimes you want to laugh about it, but you don't show it to your child, because it's not something good. I remember, like, one time, my youngest, he was angry with his mother. I just dropped him off at his house, and that's also another thing. He's always, when I pick him up, I hear him fighting with her. Even, a lot of times when I drop him at his house, he start beating his mother, stuff like that. And those are not things which are good. But I remember, like, one time I really had a hole in my left, but I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what you get for your bullshit, because she's also yeah, the way she's not showing him boundaries, and she always loved to fight with me, while meanwhile he was there, start screaming at me, calling me all kinds of names and all that, and he's picking it up, and I never, went into a shouting contest with her, when she was on the phone screaming at me, and I know that he was there. I just hang up, or when I was at the door and she had something going on that she, basically ready to make a war with me. I just, just left her, basically, yeah, you can scream by yourself, and I remember one time he was angry, man. He cursed her out, and that came from deep. He was real angry on her. And then she was like, "Oh, do you call me that?" And then she smacked him, and I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, he knows he ain't supposed to do that, but I'm like, yeah, man, you get what you deserve." And yeah, but that's the thing, when I look, today happened, a lot of stuff happened, basically, and not going into details, but I had a conversation with her. She called me while I was working. Normally I don't really pick up, but she spoke into my voicemail, like, yeah, it's an urgent situation. But yeah, she been doing that, and then it turns out to be bullshit. But I'm like, okay, let me just check it out. And I spoke calm, cool, and collective with her, and she was all surprised and like, oh yeah, I really thought that you would say this and that. I'm wordless mother, this and that. But that's the thing that I never said to her. Yeah, I might have thought it, but yeah, and then basically she's on that breaking point, because yeah, he's out of control, which that's the way that she created him. So I made it I said, so I made it clear to her again, because I've been telling her, like, okay, things that he's doing at your place, he's not doing that. And she was always like, yeah, you're lying and this and that, blah blah blah. But she knows that that's the case, but yeah. And like I said, if you got a child, especially, it doesn't matter a boy or a girl, but boys, especially with boys, you got to be more harsh with them. A girl, you protect them more, but a boy, yeah, when he is young, you have to correct him. It's very important when you have a son. And I see it. I'm basically harvesting the fruits thereof now. Because today he was really of basically, it's almost a daily thing. This week, she told me a couple of things that happened this week, and then even today later, she asked me, like, how did it went with him. I told her, like, man, he's cool, calm, and collective. I have no problem with him. He's already he goes to his bed on time. All these things. I've no there's no drama with him. Over here. And of course, a child, they will try and test your borders from time to time. But if they know that you are I call that structural. They know that when you tell like, okay, this and this is gonna be the case, they know that's it. And with her, he knows like, okay, she's gonna say like this and this is the case, but there are options. If I feel like, for example, when it's time for him to go to bed, I tell him like 10 minutes, child, he doesn't he has no clue about the time. It doesn't matter if now it's summertime, so the sun goes down later. He goes to bed where the sun is still up. He doesn't I call that go into a discussion with me or whatever. He knows when I'm telling him like a lot of 9 of 10 times, 10 minutes before I'm gonna send him to his bed, I'm telling him like, okay, in a few it's bedtime. He knows it. He might be watching TV or whatever. I turn out the TV. He gets up by himself. Start and I said it. Walk towards the stairways and go upstairs. Get ready to brush his teeth and all that. Put on his pajamas and all that. By himself. But with her, when she tell him like, okay, it's bedtime, he is he's going to be like, oh, I'm hungry, oh, I want to do this, I want to watch something on your telephone. That's also a thing. She let him watch YouTube on his telephone and all that. And he asked me that a couple of times, and but I'm like, no, my phone is my phone, and it's not for children. So yeah. But let me just go into a couple of scriptures. The scriptures are very clear about that, and I'm just going to read a couple of things, concerning that. The Bible teaches us, that it's very important to teach a child while he is young, while she is young, because when they grow up, you're gonna lead less words. She be screaming with them. Even today, she was on the phone with me. She had to stop to start screaming with him. Meanwhile, I'll stay calm, and I never screamed to him. Might have raised my voice a little bit when he was not listening, but basically all I have to do is name him by his full name. Then he's already on alert. Like, okay, better watch my steps. Or with his mother, he been going back and forth, man. Little child. Yeah, man. But yeah, we just read a couple of scriptures. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 13 and verse 24. He that spared his rod hated his son, but he that loved him chastened him betimes. Yeah. If you love your child, you're gonna correct him, show him right from wrong, because when he grows up, he's not gonna put you to shame. He's not gonna bring you in fucked up situations. When you where you have to pay. She cannot even do groceries with him without having problems with him. Like he be touching all the stuff, this and that. She told me all things like that he been doing with her while she's doing groceries or go to a store and all that. I'm like, shit, man. With me, he doesn't behave like that, man. Children, if I do groceries with them, they be like, oh, such a sweet child, this and that. I remember like, was it like 2 weeks ago or something like that? I was with him. This is Turkish store where I buy my meat and my bread. I go there often, and we were standing in line for the meat, and was a dude standing before. Yeah, I don't know. He was, I think he was an East European. And a lot of them they go back to Jake. But he was really founded about him. This and that. My son was just polite with him and greet him and this and that. And then at a certain point this dude he told me a little bit of story about how that he also had a child, but the mother of his child was a man. I think he's like, maybe he could be maybe like 10 years older than me, something like that. And he told me that he also had a son, but the mother of his son refused to let him see his child. He saw him like, I don't know, when he was a couple of years old, and then basically never saw him. So he told me that, and we were standing at the line for the cashier, and then he came. When we were done, he was like, "Yo, yo, wait," and he bought some candy for him. Stuff like that. But she was not even able, she told me a story like she went in, I don't remember exactly what store she went, but a lot of supermarket stores, you have like a coffee machine, people can get a cup of coffee in the store, this and that, and he was playing with that, and basically, and that's also a thing, I teach you like, you got your toys, those are the things that you play with, and he was playing with a thing, so meanwhile she was busy in the store, and she was like, yeah, she lost him for a second, and he was playing with the thing, and then he was spilling coffee, and then the dude be like, owner of some of a co-worker or something, person from that store was like, the person from the store was like, I say that, your child is, he's messing up the coffee machine, and then she corrected him, and he was like, sorry, ma, and then he called the dude a bozo, the Dutch word is a suckle, and I think, yeah, in English you can say a bozo. So he was calling that dude a bozo, and things like that, and like, yeah, with me he's not doing that, because he know there's no correction. I also gave her advice. I'm like, okay, when he does something like that and you be outside, as soon as you go home, put him on his room, put him in his room, give him like the scripture said, give him a few beatings with the rod, and put him in his room, and tell him like, if you get out, you're gonna stay there longer, just be there, no television, nothing, just sit there, think about what you've been doing. So yeah, let me see. Mm, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. This the book of Proverbs, chapter 15. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish man despised his mother. Yeah, you're gonna be ashamed if your child is a messed up. So I already saw it. Basically not really saw it, but already hear. When she was telling me the story, I'm like, yeah, I already picture it. Like, yeah, you really ashamed. You be like telling people sorry, this and that. You cannot even do something. Everything is a big fight with her. To go with him to how you say that, to do groceries is already things, and it takes a lot of energy, but yeah, that's what you get, and a lot of females, they be going to that stuff. That's why, that's why you got a lot of niggas, you got a lot of niggas also growing up, because they being raised up without the father, the mother being a demon, think that she can do everything, and she have no morals, because she doesn't want to be corrected, so her children gonna grow up the same way, and that's why you got a lot of these dogs, shooting each other for over nothing, bullshit, being high emotional, like the mother, and don't want nobody to tell them what to do, and that's what you get. Yeah, man. So let me see. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Yeah. And I already seen it, like I said, a couple of months he's going to be 6 years old. And I already see, like, I just have to explain him a few things. He's smart, he's smart, he understands stuff, but and I told him like, yeah, you can be act like this and that, and even today I talk with him, and he's like, yeah, but sometimes I forget. And I'm like, no, man, who do you try to fool? You think you think that daddy is stupid? And he said, no, daddy's not stupid. I know daddy's not stupid. So okay, why do you give me such a lame answer? And then he'd be like, yeah, sorry, daddy, this and that, and yeah, but he understands it, and I'm like, yeah, why can you listen with me? I already know the answer, but I basically told him like, okay, why can you listen to me, and why don't you listen to your mother? Why do you make a fuss on school? But yeah, that's also a thing. It's not, of course it's messed up, but those things are not really my problem, because she made us a couple of choices. So on those things, I don't have really things to say. She wanted to keep the, concerning the parenting. She's the one. She didn't give me no rights. So basically, I can I'm by law I cannot involve myself concerning his. I called it his parenting. She wanted to keep all the power by herself, and now after these years, and she been, I asked a couple of times for it, and then she wanted to use that as a power tool, basically, against me. And then at a certain point I was like, you know what, you can keep those powers, for me. If he listen in my house, that's it. Other things, it's not my problem, and even by law it's not my problem. And of course, don't get me wrong, it's messed up if you hear if I hear about him doing certain things at the school. But yeah, she chose for it to be that she chose that she's gonna it is her own choice to make that choice, that she's the only one that is allowed to say or do anything, decide anything about him, in that region. So yeah, meanwhile, I have him every weekend, basically, like Friday after work, I pick him up. He sleeps with me before camp. I bring him to his mother, and Sunday in the morning, I pick him up again. So yeah, and meanwhile, with me is listening, and with her is a problem. But yeah, it's her problem. So let me see. Uh, Book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. The book of Proverbs, chapter 23. Slakia. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 23 and verse 13. Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. And that's also the thing. They be like, oh, why do you smack him this and that? He's so small, this and that, blah 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 blah. But when he was young, man, I remember, like, when he was younger, my oldest son was also there, and my youngest, he was doing some stuff, and then basically I gave him a couple of slaps on his hands, and my oldest son, he looked at it and he said like, oh, daddy, you also used to do that to me. I'm like, yeah, when you didn't listen, I also did it with you, they will remember. They will remember it, and they be like, oh, if I do that, hey, if daddy's going to get angry, then basically like, oh, you fucked up, right? That's basically what's uh, uh, getting in their mind. He already remembered, like, he remembered immediately, like, oh yeah, I also used to be in that position. So yeah. So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 23 and verse 13. Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shalt deliver his soul from hell. Yeah, because he's gonna be in a lot of troubles. That's why you see these niggas doing all this bullshit, going into jail over dumbest shit. Being high, like I said, highly emotional. Don't want no correction from nobody. And then meanwhile, you're gonna you grow up to be a fuck up. Verse 22. Hearken unto thy father that begat thee, and despise not thy mother when she is old. The scriptures are also very clear about honoring your father and your mother. These are all parts of it. So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 15. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. Verse 17. Correct thy son, and he shall give thee rest. He shall give the light unto thy soul. Yeah, and I already see it. So he's young, but I already see it. Let me see. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 30, and verse 9. Conquer thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness. Heaviness, yeah. Also funny why he does this, and that. Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth at the end. Yeah. Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink. Oh yeah, this is the scripture that I was thinking about. Wink about his folly. I already had it on deck, but that was that verse that I had in my mind. So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 30, and verse 11. Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies. Yeah, be like, oh, you know, oh, I know he ain't supposed to do that, but I kind of like it. It's kind of funny, this and that. No, it's bullshit, man. Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a headache. Chastise thy son and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee. Yeah, because he's gonna be ashamed. You're gonna be ashamed to be somewhere with him. And that's what his mother is going through. She is ashamed. She's afraid. She already knows. It's already a big a job just to do groceries with him, because he's gonna be all over the place. With me, I just put him in the shopping cart. It's no problem. It's no discussion, man. Just put him in there. And sometimes, we don't take a shopping cart. He's walking with the basket. And I'm just telling him, okay, take a left here, take a right here, this and that. And it's no problem. Well, with her, he runs away. Touching stuff, this and that. Yeah. But that's what you get. But that's also the thing. She doesn't want to be corrected, so that's what you're gonna get. If you show your child that you are out of control, you cannot expect your child to be in control. That's also a thing. Because that's also a thing that he been seeing from her. Want to scream with people in the supermarket and all that. Being like a real beast, man. Yeah, that's what you get. Mm. So let me see. So this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6. And let me just start at verse 1. Children, obey your parents in Yahweh, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth. And ye fathers, and that's also a thing, and ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admission of Yahweh Basham Yahushua. Yeah, because that's also a thing. You shouldn't beat your child up like over bullshit things, and always putting on basically blaming him for everything. Because if I look, for example, look at my father. He when I was growing up, he was on a lot of dumb shit. Basically he still is. Because I also went like a year ago. I was on Curacao, and I was like, I didn't saw him like for 16 years or something. Yeah, 16 years. I'm like, let me give him a chance again. But basically, he got angry when I went out teaching with the brothers. He was angry. He's like, yeah, when you want to go away, because I went with my oldest son. He basically told me like, if you want to go away, you need to come without a child. Because he was angry because I left my son with him. And he was really making a problem of it. I'm like, okay, and he was angry. One of the brothers picked me up and brought me back, after teachings, and he didn't even greet the brother. And I really, until this day, that's for me, it's very heavy. So he was really annoying me. So basically, to the brother, put me in contact with a female who was hiring cars. So I hired a car, and I just left, because I was supposed to stay with him for 2 weeks, but I got real annoyed, and I went to an auntie of mine, and I stayed there. And the day before I went back, because my son, he really wanted to be with his grandfather. So the day before that, basically, yeah. Then I went back, and yeah. So he spent the night at his grandfather's house, and the next day we went back to Holland. So yeah. But to me, I was like, yeah, you grow up, you have your father by yourself and all that. You be like, yeah, you want to give it a chance. But I saw he's still on some bullshit. This is some more bullshit coming out from him. He's doing yeah, whatever, man. But yeah, it's what it is. And it's not that I don't have contact with him, but already like for me, it's like this is it. I put him low, and I don't disrespect him. Even then, I didn't disrespect him. I came back. He was ready to argue with me. I told him like, no, I'm not gonna argue with you. It's cool. But yeah, then basically like 2 days afterwards, I just left. I just told him like, don't worry about it. Tomorrow I'm just gonna go to my auntie, and yeah, he thought like you're not able to fix anything here. But yeah, that was a great surprise for him. Showed him like, yeah, I'm grown as man. You cannot think that I'm still that little child that you could do whatever that you could do with whatever you felt like, because I also had a sister and also a bigger sister, and those were those two he really loves, and they basically could do anything, and he will do anything for them. But I was always the one, the bin dog, like how they say in Holland, and yeah, there was nothing that I ever could do right in his eyes, so until this day, yeah. But he felt it last time, but yeah, this is what it is, also he also sits a couple of dumbass shit about the scriptures, meanwhile he's going to the church, and then I catch him, one day I came there, and I catch him with the Bible, and he was reading Psalms, and I told him like, okay, go to the book of Psalms chapter 147. I wanted to show him that, I basically already told him like we are the children of Israel, this and that, and I wanted to show him that the scriptures, the words, law, statutes, and commandments are only for the children of Israel, so-called Negros, Latinos, and the so-called Indianos. And what he said was like, well, those are just stories, and I'm like, okay, it's good. It's good. I'm like already, the spirit already made me show like, okay, just leave him there, You want to go to church and put all that show and read the Bible, and when you want to show him something in the Bible, he'd be like, yeah, those are just stories, like, okay, it's good. It's good. You condemned yourself, That's what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that, Basically, this video, is very important, Fathers, mothers, when your child is young, boy or girl, that's the time that you need to correct them and give them clear boundaries, and be structural, let you, like the scripture said, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Don't be like, okay, it's gonna be a maybe, and if a child keeps on asking every couple of times, your no is gonna be a yes, because that's the way you're gonna fuck yourself up. So yeah, with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Basham Yahushai, Waharuka Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us scriptures, among other things, and salutations to Akim across the earth for doing this work in sincerity and truth. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.